Are you searching for a deeper understanding of your faith?
Inspiring Philosophy is your go-to resource for exploring the rich tapestry of Christian thought.
From biblical archaeology to philosophy of mind, we dive into the topics that matter.
Our content bridges faith and understanding, offering insights into God's existence and the reliability of the New Testament.
Join a community where faith meets reason and discover the answers you've been seeking.
Inspiring Philosophy, where faith meets understanding.
I'm sorry, Master, but I must go all out. Just this once. I don't like you, Muhammad. Dawa boys, you've left me no choice. Bible's been corrupted, that should go to line. But you claim the same book, prophesize your sign, twisting every scripture, faking all the quotes, hiding all the facts, trying to keep your boat afloat. Without lies, Islam dies. Perfect preservation, yeah, that myth got wrecked. Worldly Quran don't even match the text. Used to flex science, now you backing away, cause camel embryo facts don't hit the same today. Got the Islamic dilemma, you can't solve that. Every answer you give makes the problem snap back. Say the Bible's corrupt, but your own book cries. Bibles are Allah's words, they can't be revised. If Allah's words can't change, then your claims are fraud. You just argued yourself against the word of your God. In Jill's secret book, that's your mystery prize. But the Quran said Christians should judge by it. Lies, then your crew pull muted like it's just a game. Ruined the life and trashed a man's name. All that dawah talk, but when truth appears, you vanish from the chat like it hurt your ears. Without lies, Islam dies. Can't hide truth, can't spin those lies. Without lies, Islam dies. Dawah cries when the facts arise. Without lies, Islam dies. Can't hide truth, can't spin those lies. Without lies, Islam dies. Dawah cries when the facts arise. We follow Jesus better, sure in your dream. While cutting out his claims like you're cropping the meme. Crown off his head, toss his cross in the bench. And smile for the camera like you're still his kin. Jesus was a Muslim, cute little twist. Redefine the word so the facts don't exist. If labels could change what the records prove, if Pharaoh was a Yahweh fan and Judah stayed true, Muhammad in the Song of Solomon, boy, you made your prophet a fruit. Snuggled up with Solomon and came the man of Ozu. Without lies, Islam dies. Can't hide truth, can't spin those lies. Without lies, Islam dies. Dawah cries when the facts arise. You preach perfect text, but the proof ain't there. Half wash, even your readers don't care. Call the Bible corrupt, but still quote it loud. Trying to find Muhammad just to please your crowd. Song of Solomon, yeah, that's a flesh effect. You just wrote your prophet in the Solomon's bed. Then the man of Al-Zu came riding through all night long, and you say that's true. Jesus was a Muslim, the word plays dead. By that logic, Pharaoh bowed his head. You twist, you spin, but you can't disguise that every dawah claim is built on lies. Without lies, without lies, without lies, without
What up? We're here live. John, get in the frame. That's better. That's much better. All right. We're live here in Denver, Colorado. Is that correct?
That's right.
Awesome. I got John McCrae here.
What up? What's up, everybody? Good to see everybody.
Share this.
I got this guy who's not paying attention over here.
I got to share it, man. What do you want? You want me to pay attention to this? You want me to share?
Share it, and then we'll do it. Let me turn the lighting down. Lighting's a little weird in here. Got these weird fluorescent lights, but we should be good. So welcome, everyone. So we are over here filming some videos for my boy John over here, having us do some stuff on Christmas, sociology, you name it, all the fun, cool stuff. So figure we do a live from his studio here, and I have got some pretty awesome Daniel Haqiqatjou clips to look at. He for those who don't know, he recently had a debate with Andrew Wilson and got obliterated far more than when I debated him when AP debated him, when Wood debated him. I mean, he collapsed. Andrew Wilson, as I've said, broke his brain. Andrew got him on stage to start arguing low IQ is better. That's how much his brain broke. And after that, he has been coping live stream after live stream. So I had to get these guys to see some clips here. They are phenomenal on so many levels. So we're going to be diving into that here. So
that's what Andrew Wilson does best at.
mm-hmm.
If it comes to doing a ton of research and so on and preparing way ahead of time, that would be you.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes to zeroing in on one thing that is going to just drive someone completely insane and throw them off and get them to defend something and they don't realize how embarrassing it's going to be, that is Andrew Wilson. He's the guy for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And man, if you guys have not seen that debate, I should probably actually pull you up and show you one of my favorite clips here. It is, oh boy, it is something. Let me go to modern day debate, just so you guys are aware of how bad this was for them. I mean, like, man, this was something. Where is it? Right here. Yeah. You've seen this debate, haven't you, John?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have not. I've only seen some clips.
You got to watch the whole thing.
No,
I watched it because IP sent it to me, and he said you got to watch this. And I started playing my a game with my kids, and then I was listening to it, and so in one ear.
Yeah. Here's one of my favorite clips. This is where Daniel's brain started to break.
You're not a white nationalist. IQ is not the end all be all of human existence. I am happy. I'm fine with having a 90 average IQ country that abides by traditional values, that abides by whether they be Christian or Muslim. I actually prefer the low IQ Christian countries that value marriage. They don't have degeneracy. They don't have prostitution. I value those Christian countries even when they have a lower IQ, a 90 IQ, an 80 IQ. That's they're living beautiful lives. Yeah, you can make fun of them. Oh, they have donkeys pulling their carts. You can laugh, but they're living beautiful lives as Christians or as Muslims.
You can laugh at them. They've got literal donkey brains. But what's wrong?
Oh my gosh, it's like, oh, they're living beautiful lives. Retarded. Man?
The old folks' homes because there's not a strong family unit to take care of our own elderly. Children are being shipped off to daycares because there's not a strong family, strong marriage, mom at home with traditional roles to take care of the children. I prefer the low IQ. I prefer the low technology society.
Look at Andrew. He's like, I got him.
Andrew,
I got him.
Can I just point this out? That none of those degenerate things that he just pointed out, which I agree with him, are the cause of IQ. I think you're having the problem with the causal link, sir. Let's point this out. And this is really important to point out. One more time, he didn't contend with the argument. The argument is, how do you make a superior society which is better for society? And you know what? All you've done right now is just argue this. Literally, I'm Daniel Haqiqatjou, and I prefer a low IQ society. That's his argument. Now, look, I did not expect you to bite the bullet that you would have a preference for a low IQ society, and therefore we should continue to have sex with our family members to achieve said low IQ society. But over here on the Christian side, well, we're just not willing to do that.
Man,
classic.
That was.
And what was crazy was so I haven't seen. I've only seen clips of several of the debates, but what's crazy is you've got that. Hey, it's better to have tons of first cousin marriages like Muhammad wanted, because that produces the kinds of low IQ societies that will keep people from leaving Islam. And so, but that's followed up with Junior, and Junior. Go ahead. Here, I'll be Junior. You ask him if Aisha reached puberty.
So Junior, you think Aisha reached puberty?
Yeah. I mean,
what's your evidence?
Duh. I mean, think about it. In Islam, you're not allowed to play with dolls once you've reached puberty. Once you've reached puberty, you're not allowed to play with dolls. The sources say Aisha was still playing with dolls. So she'd reach puberty, obviously, duh.
I mean, she didn't reach puberty if she was playing with dolls.
I mean, look. if you've reached puberty, you can't play with dolls.
And Aisha played with dolls.
She was still playing with dolls.
Therefore, she didn't reach puberty.
So she had reached puberty.
For those,
that was the argument, guys.
that's what he did in Mark.
And it's after Daniel Haqiqatjou saying we need low IQ societies to defend Islam.
It was wild, man. It was wild stuff, man. But yeah, so since then, Daniel has been coping hard. Let's get into some clips. He's been trying to revert this on Christians. It has not been going well. I'm going to do these.
Daniel Haqiqatjou.
I'll do some of these super chats really quick. What's your opinion about atheists who say the argument of evil is an argument for Christianity instead of against? I don't think atheists say that. I think some Christians have argued that the existence of there being something that would be objectively evil is evidence of like a standard of good, and that points back to God. You can't call something evil if there is no God, is what the argument they will make.
Yeah. And it's the Christian that makes that argument typically, because what they're saying is that you can't have evil without a standard of what good is. So it's the same way you can't have dark without light. You can't have dark without light. You can't have evil without good, because evil isn't actually a thing. It's a deprivation of good. So that's what the argument is.
Exactly. What if we kept going at 80? They could have 70 IQ, 60 IQ propeller hats and slide whistles, 50 IQ Axe body spray, from Tux 40 IQ bleach tips. Now, 40 IQ does sound like bleach tips. That is a very powerful argument. I do agree with you there. Yeah. Here's the thing that Daniel doesn't actually know, though. IQ is a floating metric. The average IQ of the earth will always be 100. It's people's intelligence that set it. So, like, let's say everyone's IQ goes up. That just means people that currently have 110 IQ will be considered 100 IQ in the future, because everyone's IQ just went up. When Daniel says he wants 90, 80 IQ, what he is saying is he wants Muslim nations to always be below average. That is incredibly stupid. Like, he doesn't actually understand IQ metrics. So, wow, it was pretty bad. So, all right, let's get into some of these clips. David's going to love these because, man. So the first thing he did, well, this is the second thing he did, but it's even worse. He tried to reverse a lot of these arguments on Christians because he's desperate, man. He's real desperate to try to save face. So he tries to reverse this on Christians and say, well, Christians, your God, Jesus, like, he raped his own mother during the incarnation. Pretty stupid. You're going to see how dumb it is here.
If you insist that they're the same entity, the same triune God, then it's incest. I'm sorry. There's no way around it. They have the same will, do they not? Okay, that's the same will, so they are committing. They both will. Jesus willed to impregnate his mother. Isn't that what you believe? And if you say, no, they have two separate wills. Okay, if they have two separate wills, these are two separate gods then. These are two separate minds.
Daniel doesn't understand basic philosophy of mind. Let's just get that clear. Will and mind are two different things. A mind has a will. You can have competing wills. You could will, for example, to get in better shape. You can also will to be lazy. What he's actually equivocating on mind and will. That is, first of all, the very stupid thing right there. He doesn't understand that. And there are different models of the Trinity. Some will say that there are three wills of one mind. Some say there's just one will. But there's still three persons of the Trinity. So he doesn't actually understand models of the Trinity.
So they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. That's the point. And it's rape, okay? It's rape. Because where is the consent? Where is the did God go?
Right there. Yes. She said, you have the Annunciation, and she said, so may it be unto me. So that's consent. Now, what you'd have to say is that since they believe she was 12 years old, which Daniel believes she was 12 years old, since Daniel believes she was 12 years old, what you say is a 12-year-old can't consent to something like that. We don't believe she was 12 years old.
Nope.
But he does. Why is this relevant? Do you want me to go into this now or wait?
Let's wait. Let's let it hit me a little bit more. But yeah, here. Yes. Daniel is so stupid, he doesn't even know what the Bible says. It says there right in Luke that she says, behold, I am the servant of the Lord. Let it be according to your word. She's consenting. She's actually agreeing to this plan. So Daniel doesn't actually understand what the Bible says. He's actually making an argument that can, as you can see, can be debunked in 30 seconds because that's just how little he knows about what the Bible says. This is bad, and it's going to get worse. His arguments are so bad, man.
To Mary in the Bible, does it describe God going to Mary and say, I want to have myself, I want to impregnate you with myself, and I'm going to go into your womb and then come out of your private parts? Is that acceptable to you? May I do that, Mom? And did Mary say yes to that? No, there's no affirmative consent. Okay, so what do we?
Again, Daniel's an idiot.
He's an extreme idiot. Yes, we agree.
Again, just put it right back up there. Daniel, actually consider reading the Bible. You want to critique it. She does agree. And again, it's not even, you don't understand the Trinity. It's the Holy Spirit that comes upon her. And you agree. He's actually attacking Islam, because both Christians and Muslims agree Jesus was born of a virgin. Therefore, it could not have been, at least according to what the Bible says. We'll get into the Islamic sources in a bit.
Oh, and by the way, on this issue, I haven't even explained how bad this is, what he just said.
Yeah.
I even though I explained part of it, it's actually worse. Like, you can actually pin exactly what he just said on his God.
Right.
To an extent that people don't even know about.
Yeah.
And he knows this about the Trinity, right? Like, he's just
Is this just he seems absolutely clueless and stupid about it.
No, yeah, nobody. There's not a single Christian that believes that, and he's saying that Christians believe that.
Exactly. He's that bad at this. Yeah. But I mean, like, again, like, it's a virgin birth. There was no intercourse involved.
Yeah.
Like, are you so so stupid you think that God can only create through intercourse?
Yeah.
No. Like, it was a virgin birth, Daniel. That's what the Bible says. Therefore, there was no grape. There was no intercourse involved. It's just beyond stupid. But this is his massive cope here. Let's get back into his nonsense.
We call that? What do Christians call that when they're talking about the prophets? They call that rape. So that's the rape component, and that's the incest component.
Why would
that is your God? Your God is a rape.
He says, when we're talking about the prophet, we call that rape.
We call it rape when there's sex with a prepubescent girl.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with Mary,
who was virgin, therefore no sex? This is basic Christian theology 101. The fact that he's getting this stuff wrong is pathetically bad.
And that's why I had a hard time thinking he's being serious. It's because I was
he's in meltdown mode, man. He's in meltdown mode. Scrambling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's wild.
Rapist, an incestuous rapist. That is who you're worshiping. Christians. Explain that. I haven't seen any Christian explain that.
It's about to get bad.
And Muslims, we have been.
He doesn't realize it because he probably didn't study he probably doesn't. He knows about certain issues, but it's like his focus has been on like liberalism and this and that. Right. He doesn't know Islam very well. He just doesn't. And you find that out in the Islamic dilemma debate we had, where I'm having to explain the historical background of chapters of the Quran, and he just doesn't know, and he thinks I'm making this stuff up. And he's like, "Where's the commentary? Literally open up any commentary. We'll tell you what I'm talking about." But on this, he's actually right here condemning and mocking multiple different Muslim groups who've taken various positions on how Mary became pregnant in Islam. And it's like every single group he's condemning in a different way. And like, seriously, man, this is bad. And he doesn't care. That's what's amazing. And you've seen other Muslims say, dude, stop this. You don't realize what you're doing. Like Fareed's been blessed. Dude, stop this. You don't know what you're doing right now.
Yeah. Fareed
he won't. He's like, no, I'm mad and they're making fun of me. So I will say this, which is never going away now. It's never going away, ever. What I just said about my God and my angel.
Yeah, so get into that. Like, so what is in the actual Islamic sources here? Because first of all, it's not in the Christian sources. There again, no intercourse. Mary was a virgin, so there was no grape. It was just a conception by the Holy Spirit, and Mary consented. You can debunk Daniel in 15 seconds, but this is what he's telling his Muslim followers to come say to us. So just to be clear, Daniel is setting up his own followers for failure, to get made fun of.
Big time.
Big time. Does he even care about you guys? No. He wants you to look stupid.
Yep.
But what do the Muslim sources say about this?
Okay, so you've got a few different interpretations of this, because what you have is in the Quran, Surah 66, verse 12, Allah says, Mary guarded her private parts, or it literally says her vagina, but it'll get translated as private parts. And some people will say guarded her chastity, right? It's guarded her vagina. That's what it says. And it says, then we breathed therein, right? This is Allah speaking. He says, we breathed therein. Breathed into what? Breathed into her vagina, right? Okay. So you've got that. But then when you go to Surah 19, then it says, and Allah's spirit showed up in the form of a man, right? Allah's spirit shows up in the form of a man, comes to Mary, and she says, I seek refuge in Allah from you. She thinks this man walking towards her, who is actually the spirit, that's the part that Muslims debate. You have three main interpretations of that. But she sees the spirit in the form of a man approaching her. She thinks this spirit is there to rape her, right? But he's there telling her what's going on. But then, according to Muslims, this is when her vagina gets blown into, right? So here's the thing. So it's not just something supernatural, boom, Allah does it.
Like it is in the Bible.
Yeah.
In the Bible, it's supernatural.
And here's what's interesting. In Islam, if Allah wants to create something, he says be, and it happens. But he could have just said be, and it happened. So he chose to go in this route for some other reason. Why did he choose to do this, right? So anyway,
that's weird, man.
You've got three main Muslim interpretations of what the spirit here is, right? So the most common interpretation of Muslims today is that the spirit is the angel Gabriel, right? You don't have any evidence in the Quran that the spirit is the angel Gabriel. They just that became what they believe over time. So it's the angel Gabriel, they believe, that breathed into Mary's vagina. I will come back to that. Just want to explain the different views. So you've got that view. Then you've got the view that no, this is the Holy Spirit. It's their version of the Holy Spirit. It's not the angel Gabriel. It's the actual spirit of Allah. And that makes most sense of Allah saying we breathe therein, because in 66:12 he says we breathe therein, and that makes sense. That makes sense if it, like, the spirit is the spirit of Allah showing up and breathing in. Then that fits together well.
Yeah. Never forget that Allah's preferred pronouns are we, they, them.
Yep. But here there's a third interpretation where, remember, Surah 4 verse 171 calls Jesus not just the word of Allah, but a spirit from Allah. So they connect it with that. Jesus is a spirit from Allah. This is the spirit of Jesus who showed up. The spirit. So Jesus is a spirit from Allah. They believe it's the spirit of Jesus who shows up in the form of a man to breathe himself into her and thus be born, right? Well, what is that? According to Daniel, that's incest. He just said it. He just said that. That is one of the three main Muslim views of all time. He just accused them all of promoting divine incest, that Jesus incestuously entered his own mother and then was born of her. He just accused that entire group of saying that there was this divine incest. That's what he was saying.
Way to go, Daniel.
Yeah. So that's one view. Then you've got the view that it's the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of Allah. But that other view is the main one, that this is Gabriel. So you have Allah saying we breathed into her vagina. But then who actually appears? It's, if they interpret it as the angel Gabriel, then Allah is using the angel Gabriel to do this. But then you get into the weird stuff, because the Muslim scholars said, well, Gabriel can't be breathing his own spirit into her, or her offspring would have been half angel.
Yeah,
that's what they said. So something else has to be going on there. So to avoid this problem, they came up with a solution, which goes back to what's called the two semens theory, which was a theory, which was a scientific theory at the time, but that's what you have in the Quran, and that's what you have in the Hadith. The two semens theory, unlike the 30 semens theory of Al-Zud, the two semens theory is that men have semen and women have semen. And you find this all over the Hadith, Muhammad saying this. But men have semen and women have semen. The man puts his semen into the woman, and her semen's there in her womb, and then the semen's mixed together, and then one rises to the top, and that decides what the child's going to look like and what sex it is and stuff like that.
Gross.
It's all complete nonsense. All complete nonsense.
Totally gross, yes.
But since the angel Gabriel, they believe, is breathing into her, and he can't be breathing his own spirit into her, because that would make her offspring half angel. Therefore, she must have already had everything within her. So they concluded that, okay, according to the two semens theory, the male semen is in his backbone. So when your semen comes, it's ultimately coming from your backbone, right? It's in your spine.
It's nonsense.
Yeah. So yeah, completely wrong, complete idiotic nonsense.
Mhm.
But here's what happens. Allah created Mary with both semens already. She had the male semen in her backbone like a man, and then she had the female semen that's in her womb, right? So how do you get the male semen to be released? She has to ejaculate it like a man, right? And so it says in Qurtubi, he has the explanation. This is how they fix all these problems. The angel Gabriel had to breathe into her vagina to get her sexually excited, to make her have an orgasm out of her spine that goes into her womb, and then the two semens mix, and then Jesus is formed, right? Here's the thing. Do you believe anything sexual happened between God and Mary to
No.
produce Jesus? No. Do they? Yes. Daniel's just too stupid, and he apparently has no clue what his sources say about this, because nothing that he's saying, even like with the consent, he believes she's 12. We don't believe she's 12.
No.
Even the source he goes to, he's too stupid to even read the source. He says, look, it says right here 12. It says 12.
We'll get into that. He's going to go to that later. Yeah.
So anyway, the stuff everything he's saying, none of it applies to us.
No.
And all of it applies to him. All of it applies to his religion. And he doesn't know. He's too stupid and too clueless about his own sources. And he's so obsessed with attacking Christians because he just got humiliated again. And this is what's going on. So this is why this guy is so dumb. And this is why other Muslims, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Stop this right now. And he just can't because he's enraged.
Yeah, he's enraged because he got so owned by Andrew Wilson. But man, yeah, that's the problem. All of his sources actually confirm this very accusations he's throwing at Christians in the Bible. It seems like every accusation from Daniel is a confession in some way. It's really weird, really weird, really weird. Yeah. Let me get to some of these super chats because we got some I want to get to. So, good job. It wasn't a Muslim country that invented the car. We'd be traveling in DSP donkey stride powerlets instead of brake horsepower. Yes, this is very true. We'd be talking about cars in terms of donkey power, I guess, if Muslims invented cars.
It's funny.
Daniel should start a new YouTube channel called Non-Inspiring Philosophy and become a legend in the low IQ world. That would be powerful. Very powerful of Daniel to do that. Yes. Daniel did an episode called Stop Abusing Your Wife. Yeah. And that's ridiculous because he allows it. He's like, yeah, it's perfectly fine. He's been very clear about this. Pierce Morgan had Nick Fuentes. It was amazing. Both came out good. Yeah. Tomorrow AP is going to review that if you guys are interested. I think that's what he has it scheduled for. So we got a generous super chat here from a Muslim.
Oh, look at this.
What?
Look at this. So Adnan Rashid said, one of the greatest proofs for the truth and nobility of Islam is the type of people attacking it. So I responded to that, and he lists all the enemies, and he said Zionists, Hindutva, Christian missionaries and stuff. And I just asked, polite question, what about al-Zut? Right? And then he responded to this, Adnan Rashid, he said, you stay out of it. You confess to sexually abusing vulnerable girls. If you're an advocate for Christianity, then it is doomed. He just agreed
man, they're idiots.
that sex with a teenage girl is sexual abuse.
It is.
How? I mean, how? Anyway, these are fun times.
Wild
Guys.
stuff. So this is from a Muslim. Very generous super chat. Appreciate it. He says, Zero Mosque referred to Daniel Haqiqatjou. He has expertise in geopolitical analyst, but there is no mosque that takes him as a religious authority. Agreed. You call him an idiot, then stop referring to him and other YouTubers for assessing Islam. Talk to Shabir Ali. Listen, Daniel has the reach. He's got an audience.
More than Shabir.
Yeah.
At this point, probably, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, Shabir outclasses Daniel in every way.
Exactly.
This is a sad commentary on the Ummah. They are more drawn to people like Daniel Haqiqatjou than they are to smarter, wiser people with way more hikmah and way more intelligence than Daniel Haqiqatjou, but they're drawn to that. Why? Probably the 40 generations of first cousin marriage thing.
Yeah. So listen, if these are the top Dawa guys, we're going after them. You should just be on our side and be thankful we are exposing and destroying them. And then you should use this
cheering us on. Yeah.
You should use this as an opportunity to point Muslims away from him to better Dawa guys. Do that. Do that. Absolutely do that. We would be no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah,
So,
but there's no. I mean, if he's saying all these crazy things, like it's good to address it, right? I mean, it's got to be good to address it. Otherwise, what's he do? Oh, they can't refute me. They're running from me.
yeah, that's exactly what they would do. So Daniel is completely unaware of his own religion and what it teaches, and he's unaware of what the Bible teaches. But here is him trying to do, as he will say, critical scholarship on trying to assess the age of Mary. And you're going to love this.
What this proto-gospel rather, is claiming. But notice it's saying that she was 12 years old, she was married to Joseph, and shortly thereafter, she became impregnated with the begotten son of God. Right? Okay, so that is according to one of the earliest gospels. Okay.
John, is the Proto-Evangelium of James one of the earliest gospels?
Yeah, you've never heard it.
No, it's second century, guys. This is not. This is later than the Gospel of John.
Wait, I've literally never heard of it. What is it? Like, is this a Gnostic?
It's the
gospel?
Proto-Evangelium of James. So so Proto-Evangelium means it's like a pre-gospel. So it's like
Okay.
like a prologue kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's just detailing the events leading up to Jesus.
Do you know who wrote it?
No, we don't know who wrote it. It's attributed to James. No scholar thinks James wrote this.
Right.
No scholar thinks it's first century. Everyone's saying that this is second century. And even the Catholic Encyclopedia will tell you this is not a reliable work.
Okay.
So this is nonsense. So
They said the earliest gospel.
he says one of the earliest gospels.
But how is he? I mean, I literally just made fun of them for searching the document for 12 and then quoting the part where it says Mary reached the age of 12. And literally all you have to do is keep reading because it gives a completely different age for when this actually happened and when she was actually pregnant.
Yeah. Let's show that. Here's his. Wow, this is bad.
To one of the earliest gospels.
Not one of them.
Okay. Apocryphal. I'll get to this point in a second. This proto-gospel is saying that she was 12 when she got impregnated.
Hear that, David? It says she was 12 when she got impregnated.
Where does it say
Yeah,
that?
I
Daniel,
don't see
show
it.
us where it says that, because what you have right here does not show that at all.
No. It says 16, Daniel.
It says 16. It's the document you are quoting to show that she was 12. And you just said it says she was 12 when she's pregnant. Literally says she was 16 when she became pregnant. It says she was 16. How are you this either stupid? I'm going to go with stupid rather than deceptive. You're totally deceptive. Even Fareed, your fellow Muslim, said you were the most deceptive dawah guy he's ever seen in his life. But we're still going with stupid on this.
Very
Because
stupid,
think, if you're a deceiver, you should have some idea that you don't want to make it so easy to point out that you're getting this wrong. If you're stupid, then you just don't realize how easy it is to show you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
But by the way, side note, everyone, sadly, you'll have Daniel and he's going, the Proto-Evangelium of James, and this is what Christians believe. He's saying that are a bunch of morons who don't know any better. Don't realize, no, we don't believe in this. But everyone, you just have to go to the Proto-Evangelium of James, screenshot the part that says she was 16, so that wherever you have one of his dumb fans, you have to keep showing them. They have a community that is just wide open, not in a zoot sense, but wide open for deception. Someone like Daniel can tell them anything, they'll just run with it. They'll just run with it. They don't question it. They just go. And they'll spread this nonsense around the world. And it's just, we have to do the work of correcting it. So
yes. Mary, being afraid, went to her own house and hid herself from the sons of Israel. She was 16 years old when these mysteries happened.
Yeah, and you read the paragraph. This is when she's pregnant.
Right. You can look up and see the context there. Yeah. This is how bad it is. And again, we don't even think this is reliable. All right, we don't make a claim on Mary's age. If you go on what scholarship has said, like Amram Troper or Michael Satlow have pointed out, basically girls were being married between earliest as mid-teens, but probably late teens to early 20s. So what that basically means is Mary could have been 18, she could have been 19, 20, she could have been 16, not when that, but also this does not compare to what Muhammad did when he raped a 9-year-old, because you have an omnipotent God not doing anything with intercourse. He can know that Mary is fully capable of bearing a child, regardless of that age. But again, if we're going to go on the Proto-Evangelium of James, Daniel's too stupid to realize it even says like after mid-teens, like late teens, approaching 18, like 16. And it's not even a reliable document. pretty bad.
Yeah, so think about this, because I've seen him cite two, right? He says the Catholic Encyclopedia says it. Wrong.
Right.
The Catholic Encyclopedia says we don't know. We don't know, and there are no reliable sources on it. That's what the Catholic Encyclopedia says. Yet they all run around to each other. The Catholic Encyclopedia says she was 12. We ask, show us. They can't, because it's not what it says.
Yeah.
And then now it's the Proto-Evangelium of James. It says she was 12. Look right here. It says she was 12 in the temple. Yeah. And it says she's 16 when she became pregnant. This is what we're dealing with, guys. And what is all this based on? It's based on us criticizing Muhammad for having sex with a prepubescent 9-year-old. We have over 200 sources saying that Aisha was 9 when Muhammad consummated the marriage with her. Over 200 Muslim sources saying she was 9 years old. And in response to that, they say, oh, but Mary was 12. And we say, where? Not in the Bible. Where? But in the Proto-Evangelium of James. No, that says 16. But in the Catholic Encyclopedia. Why can't you show one source saying we can show you over 200 sources for what we're saying? And so it's just this principle over and over again. The principle in Islam is, if you say something that is true about our prophet, we'll lie about people in the Bible. That's the principle. That's always their go-to move. And you just have to wonder, like, what does this tell us about your religion? That lying is the go-to move for everything. Weird, creepy stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's difficult for me. Like, it's hard to be charitable towards these guys when you're constantly seeing them lie about everything.
Exactly.
Like, honestly, like it's the most deception that I've seen from almost any group online. Like, to be honest, like I can't think of any other group where I've seen this much intentional deception, because they intentionally get things wrong. Where they, because that's what I was thinking earlier. Like, I mean, I don't know about Daniel's motives there, but like when him, even the way he tried to articulate the Trinity in a way that no Christian actually believes. It's like he knows this, and then so it's just weird. I don't know. It's just very
As Fareed has pointed out, he's a pathological liar.
That's what Fareed called it.
Yeah,
and this is one of those areas where you have to say Fareed is right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fareed's right on the money on this one. He's wrong on everything else, but he's right on this.
That is underage incest rape.
Oh,
okay.
Daniel.
Even if she did give affirmative consent, it's not acceptable because she's 12. She doesn't have a developed mind to be able to give informed consent.
Except she's not 12. Even in the source you're lying about, or too stupid to finish reading. But she is 12 according to you guys. You know why they think she was 12? It's not because of the sources. It's because they can't imagine anyone waiting beyond what is legally required, and that was the minimum age, 12. So there's no way people might wait longer. They just jump on a girl as soon as today's the day.
Pretty messed up. And again, scholars like Michael Sallow, Amran Troper point out that in Palestine, basically girls were marrying off between late teens to early 20s. Keith Hopkins, Brent Shaw point out that was basically also the practice for the wider Roman Empire. So girls were not being married off on average 13, 14. That did happen. Not going to deny it, but it wasn't the average.
Yeah, and like even with the Proto-Evangelium of James, that's in the 2nd century. But by that time, they're trying to explain why she was a perpetual virgin, right? Proto-Evangelium of James, that's our source. I mean, that's our early source on the belief that she's a perpetual virgin. But when they start trying to explain why there was never sex, even after she gave birth to Jesus. Well, why didn't he have sex with her afterwards? What they did was they tried to describe her as very young and Joseph as very old. So he just wasn't interested. He's just taking care of her.
Yeah.
He's just, we need someone to take care of her. So Joseph's a really old man. He's not interested in sex. And so he's going to take care of her, basically like adopting her, but it's going to be a marriage and so on. So this is during a time when they're trying to portray her as very young, who needs to be taken care of by someone who's not interested in sex. Oh, what's that mean? It means she could have been later teens, 20s and so on. Because again, in the 2nd century was trying to portray her as young. And what did they portray her as? 16.
Yeah.
That was young.
That was young, guys.
Okay, that's rape. That is rape according to these feminist Christians who are constantly attacking Islam. Now, the Christians are going to chimp out and say that, oh, Daniel, this is not canon. The proto-evangelium of James is not canon. This is apocryphal.
Well, the first thing we're going to point out is that it actually says she was 16. That's the first thing we're going to point out, Daniel.
Yeah.
So let me explain to these low IQ Christians what historical analysis entails.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, this is good. Great.
Why does this always happen too, by the way? It's always the people that call everybody else low IQ all the time who and try to insult people like that when they're wrong. That is always a thing, it seems like.
No, I mean, seriously, think about how stupid this is on every single level, right? He's saying she's 12. What's the source? Proto-Evangelium of James. We don't even believe in that. And it doesn't say she's 12. It says she was 16, which doesn't fit with anything you're saying. And literally nothing he's saying has anything to do with what we believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And every single thing he's saying applies to Islam. They believe she's 12. They believe that there was actually something sexual that Gabriel had to blow into her vagina to get her to ejaculate the male semen from her backbone and so on. They believe this. And it's just, gosh, how stupid can you be in every possible way?
Historical analysis, this is not part of your canon. These infancy gospels are not a part of your canon. Fine. That doesn't mean it's not a historical source. Why should I, as a non-Christian, be constrained by your canon? You think that the only way that I can understand history or the life of Jesus or to understand the society in which Jesus lived, the Roman Empire at that time, the only source that I can consult is the canon?
Yeah. So notice how stupid this is.
Oh my God!
He's saying we believe something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't believe that, and he's saying, "Well, you can do whatever you want. You can believe some legend about aliens or something like that. We're not talking about what you can believe. You say we believe this. We don't.
Yeah.
And then you can't even get the source right. My goodness, this dude is
Stupid.
stupid.
Is the Christian canon? The canonical gospels? Like, that's the only way that I can understand.
Just one more point about how stupid this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have tons of sources on Muhammad, right?
That's what I was
Tons.
thinking.
And they'll be like, no, that's a weak hadith. Are we bound by your stupid historical methodology that even your own scholars say can't stand up to scholarly scrutiny? Are we bound by this methodology? No.
Yeah.
So don't tell it. We need to clip all of this. We need to be clipping all of this. Dude, you are granting us so much. We can take this clip and we can quote all these hadiths with all this.
Yeah.
We've got weirder stuff than Muhammad and the Night of Al-Zut in some of your sources. And what do you say? No, that our scholars have said that this cannot be trusted. What's Daniel say? We don't care what your scholars say. I can go with whatever I want and put it out there and say, you guys believe this. Okay, Daniel, you made the rule. Do not complain about it later, bud.
And by the way,
So
critical
bad.
scholars do not take the Proto-Evangelium, however you want to pronounce it, as a reliable source either.
So that's what I was thinking. It's like, I don't think he understands why we do accept the gospels that we accept, because it's not like we just pull it out of thin air. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
Because they're more historical for one. And so it's like, yeah. So anyways, it's just very strange.
Yeah. See my series, a playlist on my channel. It's a 15 video series, Reliability of the Gospels. There's a ton of evidence for the canonical Gospels that doesn't exist for the Hadith, the Sunnah, and the Proto-Evangelium of James.
History at that point is through the Christian canon and the letters of Paul. Are you joking? Like, why should I care? Why should I care what you have decided, what you and your church have decided is canon? In fact, I'm not bound by that. I just want to know historically, the historical Mary. How old was she? That's all I care about. And here is a very early source that even predates your canonical gospels.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He's that dumb. Yes, he's that dumb. He thinks this. Oh my gosh, it's so.
That is
stupid.
beyond dumb.
He's that bad. Yes.
That is beyond dumb.
Yeah.
Guys, you heard it from Daniel Haqiqatjou.
Predates the
The
gospels.
Proto-Evangelium of James predates the canonical first century gospel, which would mean that this is first century. Who are you aware of anyone who claims that this is
No.
first century ever?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's just making stuff up. Pathological liar, man.
Yep. And doesn't care. And here's the thing. we can point out all of this to every last one of his followers. Guess what? Not one of them will care even slightly.
Why not?
They don't care.
Yeah.
They accept that lying is part of dawah. They've accepted it. They tell us that no, that doesn't happen, and we look at it. It's like lie. How many lies has he shown in the couple minutes
I lost
watched?
count.
Yeah. Tons. Hey, you need to take a clip of Daniel and do like a lie counter, like after he ding, right, ding, or like that. And just count them up, like show them like 20 lies in 2 minutes or something.
And make
like
a good
that.
TikTok video. Yeah,
That would be good.
Arguably, and they're saying that she was 12. So that's historical
Wait,
evidence. There is
He's saying the proto-evangelium of James.
Oh, not what it said though.
Yeah,
If
no.
you actually read it.
No, it doesn't say that at all.
Which-
no other evidence. Okay, other
Like
than
researcher.
the historical fact that typically in that time period, most girls were married off between 12 and 15, and this is what the historians say.
No, they don't.
Which
Once
is
again,
wrong.
no, they don't. No, they say it's late teens, early 20s, Daniel. And I pointed this out to him in my debate with him, and
does
he
not
never
care.
addressed
He
it.
does not
He-
care.
I-
It doesn't matter.
No, ridiculous.
And it's also reflected in the canon law. In the early church canon law, the minimum age of marriage was 12 years old.
I just said that. They can't
That's-
get their mind around. Notice if that's like saying, okay, some lady named let's say Barbara just got married in such and such state.
Yeah.
How old was she? What would he conclude? Let's look at the minimum age of marriage. It had to be right then. It had to, why did it have to be right then, Dan? Where are you getting this idea? Because you guys are obsessed with pouncing as soon as you're able to.
And by the way, Kim Phillips in her book Medieval Maidens point out that was the minimum age for marriage, not the consummation of a marriage. In fact, kings in the medieval period could marry their daughters off that young, but they would include like stipulations in like part of the contract that you can't consummate this marriage until late teens. The King of Aragon did this. She cites examples like that in her book. So again, they just assume that, oh, a girl got married, therefore they're going to consummate the marriage because that's the way their minds think. Whereas actually the medieval kings knew better. A lot of them didn't even do that. No, they waited. They said, you need to wait to consummate, even though we're going to allow this marriage to go through.
Well, isn't that even what they say with Muhammad? Because he got married to Aisha when she was 6, right? And
Mhm.
they didn't consummate until she was 9. So why then would he assume that that's the same is not true in this case?
You'd think that, but
That's in your canon law. That is in the church's early laws. That 12-year-old age. That's more evidence. So this is all historical evidence that we can gather.
Guys,
We're
did
not
you-
limited by what you.
In canon law, it became 12 years old as the minimum age for marriage.
Yeah.
This is the evidence
Yeah.
that God impregnated Mary at 12.
I
In
don't
addition to the proto-evangelium of James, which says she was 16.
these are genius researchers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So guys, the Gospels don't say how old Mary was, right? So you can just say, okay, we don't know exactly how old she was, but what do you say? Okay, if we wanted to kind of get an idea, what have you got to go on? Not a lot, right? Not a lot. So here's what you've got to go on. You've got that she's called blessed among women. So it says women. This is in the same Bible that calls a 12-year-old girl little girl. They call 12-year-old girls little girl. They don't call them women.
Yeah, the daughter of Jairus.
Yeah. Yeah. So calls a 12-year-old girl little girl. Calls Mary a woman. Okay. So that's not a ton of evidence, but that's something. They didn't think of her as a little girl. So there's that. You can have what IP's talking about. You can have, okay, here's the average age at which women were getting married, and you can look at that and say, okay, if we don't have much to go on, and we're just gonna say, okay, what do we, if we were to make an educated guess, okay, you'd look at the average age of first marriage and say probably sometime in there. Okay, that doesn't give you what you're looking for. Or you could go to a later apocryphal source like the proto-evangelium of James. Does that get you what you want? Only if you pull out a part that says she was 12. Completely different from when she's actually pregnant, and it says she's pregnant at 16. It's like, where are you going for this? And all he can say is, well, minimum age. Okay, why would you think that every girl was married off at the minimum age? Why? Where are you getting that from? You're getting that from your own sick fantasies.
Mhm.
Do you consider to be canonical material? So this kind of pushback or this rebuttal from Christians is completely ignorant of the type of critique or the type of analysis that we're doing. We're doing a historical analysis. We want to know the historical age of Mary.
Here it is.
It's called historical critical scholarship.
Oh my!
Maybe you're not aware of that.
Look at this, and guys, this is what impresses like
Look at that
stupid idiot
face.
fans.
Look at that face right there.
Like, huh, this is what's called not being able to read any source. This is called historical critical scholarship. Yeah. Hey, Daniel, anywhere in the world, find one historical critical scholar who would listen to what you just said and not think that it's the most idiotic thing they've ever heard in their entire lives. Find me one who wouldn't think that what you just said is the biggest, most idiotic bunch of nonsense they've ever heard. You can't. And you might want to get a couple of historical critical scholars on there, show them that, and just watch them giggling themselves silly at what Daniel's saying here.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah. So, Daniel Haqiqatjou says he blocked me on X because of my powerful dawah. Of course, that's absolutely why. What Islamophobic shenanigans are you guys up to today? We are looking at Daniel's incredibly stupid arguments. Very Islamophobic of us. What? Yeah, he's talking about Daniel earlier. You know, pretty dumb. Yes. Muslims, yes, but did you see what Mary was wearing?
No one could resist.
Who's that a photo of? I don't even know.
Gabriel couldn't resist.
Uninspiring philosophy says, John, you're scaring me right now.
Really?
That's pretty messed up, man.
That's messed up.
Why are you scary?
I don't know.
All right.
Black.
I don't know. Dr. Omar's back. One of our favorite Muslims here on this channel. He says, according to the Bible, God ordered 5 daughters of Zelophehad to marry their first cousins. Never rescinded. Yeah. So here's the thing about this. Okay, so once again, this actually doesn't deal with Andrew Wilson's argument, because Andrew Wilson was debating which is better. In generations of cousin marriage is not good. In that passage, God actually says, I think it's like Numbers 36. He says he wants the daughters to marry within the clan, which can include second cousins, extended family. He doesn't actually say you have to marry first cousins. Now, he doesn't include that. I'll allow that. But he only allows it in this very specific aspect where a guy has only daughters, no sons. So the inheritance needs to stay within the clan, and specifically within also the tribe. That is of Manasseh is what I believe it is. So yeah, it doesn't actually directly say that, but he only allows it for Israelites living in Canaan who have a connection to inheritance land. And the guy can only have daughters and no sons. So there's a very, very specific time and requirement to even allow such a thing. And that's not going to allow for the generations, the compounding of cousin marriage, which leads to lower IQs and negative effects. So Wilson wasn't arguing that it's necessarily immoral. And we would agree it's not necessarily immoral, but we would still say compounding it is just bad for human society. That's the problem.
Yeah, and Dr. Omar, this seriously shouldn't be something you're defending here. I mean, I'm assuming you're actually a doctor. If that's a medical doctor and not like a doctor in some other academic field or something like that, it's very simple. You can theoretically be allowed to do something that you realize is bad and dangerous and leads to all sorts of harmful effects, and therefore discourage people from doing it. Well, that's what we're doing. We're trying to discourage. Like, okay, here's what we would say: even if it's allowed in Islam, stop doing it. There are all sorts of things that are allowed and are bad for you, so stop doing them. You should be on the same side with us in this.
Yeah, and like just for some studies, if you're interested in breeding depression and IQ in a study of 72 countries, the results interpreted in light of cultural feedback theory, whereby it is suggested that consanguinity could subtly influence IQ at large scales as a result of small IQ handicaps brought about through inbreeding being amplified into much larger differences.
Yes. So basically, if someone marries his first cousin, has a child, and so on, there could be a little problem there.
Yeah,
there could be a little problem there. But as this continues, generation after generation, the problems keep building, and you have diseases where they're not very common because they're on a recessive gene. It's a recessive gene, and if you have the dominant gene, that's okay. You're good to go. You won't have the bad effects. But what happens is after generations of first cousin marriage, you just end up with all the bad recessive genes, and all your kids have the same problems. And it never crosses anyone's mind, hey, maybe we need to stop this. And if we say, hey, stop that, it's bad, it's like destroying you, we're the bad guy. Oh, but what about Zelophehad?
Yeah, another study, our comprehensive assessment provides evidence for inbreeding depression on cognitive abilities among children. So yeah, guys, this is a problem. This needs to stop. It's going to destroy societies over and over again. That's why we see it in the Muslim world, that is a factor that does help contribute to lowering IQ.
And Daniel says, good, we want them as low as possible so they stay in Islam. We're not joking. That's his position.
That's what he argued against Andrew Wilson.
And why? Because you have to be really, when you listen to Daniel, you have to be exceptionally stupid to take what he's saying seriously. He's like, wrong, 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 lie, 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 lie. You have to be really stupid. So what does he want?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice Minecraft cave. Oh, hi,
I
DeWood.
love that.
There's a Minecraft cave.
Yeah, it looks like a Minecraft cave.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Behind this.
Oh, yeah, I see that now. Yeah. Dr. Omar now says, stop acting like they are Islam. I guess he means like Daniel and everybody.
Are they not?
They're Muslims, right?
Yeah, they are.
Representatives of Islam in some way.
Listen, don't get mad at us. Get mad at the Ummah that's propping up Daniel. We have been saying, people like Fareed have been calling him out, saying this guy is horrible. Stop following him.
Yeah.
Okay, but he still has a major following. So this is an in-house thing you got to figure out. Don't get mad at us because Muslims are propping him up.
And we're literally giving you the long-term strategy. Stop the cousin marriage, stop the first cousin marriage, then your IQs will rise and people won't listen to Daniel Haqiqatjou as much.
Powerful.
If you keep thinking the first cousin marriage is a good idea, you're going to be stuck with Daniel forever, or people like him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hello to what do you mean, Jordan Peterson's favorite commentator.
Hello.
Surah 39:4, Allah could have a son. Allah could have a son by anything. 6106 says he needs a mate. Conclusion: Allah has to mate with a person or object to get a son. Do you guys agree? Yeah, that's an interesting argument. Surah 6101 says, how could Allah have children? He has no mate, implying that Allah could only have children if he had a mate, suggesting he's not omnipotent. Yeah. Daniel Haqiqatjou's eyebrow gymnastics are Olympic standards. This is the proof. Yeah, Muslims, if you're confused about the Garkid tree and David Wood, learn that the Garkid wood is not snitching, while David Wood is self-snitching. Sahih Bugatti 23. If Muslims want better dawah, guys, then their sheikhs need to stop hiding and debate. Otherwise, they will continue to have people like Daniel and Junior represent Islam and no one to blame but themselves for looking stupid. Exactly. Exactly.
No, I didn't actually know it would go this far, but this was the plan from somewhere like 2005, 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. When back then, if me and Nabil saw this, if you're a Christian group and you wanted to debate with a Muslim, you had to go to a Muslim organization, say, we'd like to arrange a debate. They're going to set up a debate with some handpicked guy from them, and they were going to tell you what topics they were willing to debate. It was going to be, is Jesus God, or is the Trinity true, or can I trust the Bible, or did Jesus, it's going to be a Christian topic. That's all they wanted to debate. And you'd have to agree. And then before the debate, the Muslim side would tell the Christian side, if you criticize Muhammad or the Quran at any point during this debate, it's over. All the Muslims are walking out. So that's how it was back then. Me and Nabil are looking at this. We have to change this. You cannot give all this. You cannot give them all this, right?
Right.
You have to do something. So we came up with the brilliant idea. Instead of going to the Muslim organization saying, we'd like to have a debate, you guys pick the topics, and then you guys make all the rules and so on. We will announce online, hey, we'd like to debate this topic. Who's willing to stand up for Islam on this topic? And so it's not the handpicked guy chosen by the Muslim organization. Now you're getting Muslims online saying, I'll defend that. I'll do that. And so you don't get the Muslim scholar. You get someone who's actually willing to defend it. Because guess what? The Muslim scholar's never going to agree to debate some of these topics. Never, ever. And so we'd say, okay, who is willing? And you'd get basically younger, more aggressive guys that think, hey, I've been arguing online and I can defend this. I can defend this. And so that went on for a while. And you started getting guys off of like YouTube and stuff like that and Pal Talk, and they start debating. But now even the guys who were stepping forward back then have realized it's bad stepping into these debates. So you're getting like dumber and dumber guys who are who just don't realize how stupid they sound. And now you've got people like Junior and stuff as the champion of Islam, and no one else wants to come forward. And it's like, wow. At what point do I say this has gone too far, guys?
Listen, I'll be happy to debate Shabir Ali. Modern Day Debate was trying to set something up. It didn't fall through, and it wasn't on my part. Okay.
Yeah, I agreed to debate him too on the Islamic dilemma.
Me
that,
too.
That fell through. So
Yeah, it fell through. He doesn't want to do it now. So I don't know what's going on.
and you may have watched some of the debates on the Islamic dilemma and realized that's not going to go the way he wants.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I was supposed to debate Abdullah Andalusi again. He gave me a bunch of excuses after we scheduled it 3 times, and then finally the host was like, "I'm done with this guy. He's not going to just keep rescheduling." So, Saint Maximus says 16 as well, and puts from the Proto-Evangelium, but treats it as apocryphal and needing to be squared with the patristic teachings of the church. Yeah. One more from Dr. Omar. He says, no, Joshua Little proved in his Oxford PhD dissertation by 4 independent methods that those so-called 200 sources on Aisha's age all come from a fabrication, and there are 15 to 20 hadith that give much higher ages for Aisha.
No, there's no hadith.
There's
no hadith.
He doesn't say that. No.
Yeah, what you're right in the first part, in that if you do not take the Sunni method of isnad criticism seriously, and you just think that's his position. You want me to read what he says about the hadith? It's a joke. Mm-hmm. Like and Yasser Qadi already confirmed this, but he went through, it's like, you can't, it is difficult to take anything in the hadith seriously. You have to do some serious scholar to find anything that's reliable in these sources. The hadith methodology is one big giant joke. Guess what? I'll agree with you. Yeah. If you think that the entire Islamic, the Islamic sources are a bunch of nonsense made up by later generations, and it's almost completely unreliable, I agree. We don't know when Muhammad married Aisha, but we don't know almost anything about Muhammad. We know almost nothing about the guy.
No.
And so if you want to go, that could be a dilemma.
Yeah.
The Aisha dilemma. The Aisha dilemma. Either Aisha was 9 when Muhammad had sex with her, because we have over 200 sources saying that she was 9 when Muhammad had sex with her, or the only way to get that wrong, and that consistently wrong, is if your sources are such insane garbage that you can end up with that level of consistency and it's all wrong, which would mean your sources are completely unreliable nonsense. Okay, take your pick. I'm fine with either one of those. Mm-hmm. So if you want to say your sources are reliable, even remotely reliable, okay, you're stuck with Muhammad having sex with a 9-year-old. If you want to say your sources are garbage, I'll agree. If your sources are garbage, we don't know how old Aisha was, but we don't know anything about your prophet. So stop telling us about him and stop defending him.
Yeah. Dr. Omar, I have a challenge for you. Go to the playlist of this channel, watch the Reliability of the Gospel series. It's 15 videos. Don't have to do it all at once. I get it. It's a lot of videos there. But look at what can be actually used for arguing for reliability of sources. There's a ton of evidence for the reliability of the Gospels. So watch that, and then let me know if you think our sources are more reliable than the Hadith or not. Which is more reliable? So go through all that. Let me know what you think. That's my challenge for you. So I got another lovely thing. So this is actually Daniel after his he's doing his post-debate review. And this is his, man, this is bad. This is when he is really crashing out on this thing. So let me get to my first. I think I went a little too far ahead. I want to go back to the first clip. Yeah. 118. Here we go.
He makes better societies than Islam. And it's pretty.
Then he proceeds to give an atheist progressive argument. He says that, and then proceeds to give an atheist progressive argument about economic progress, about development.
Guys, he's literally saying, Andrew Wilson saying cousin marriage is bad for society is a liberal progressive argument. Yeah. What the heck?
Yeah, seriously. Oh, you don't think banging your first cousin? So if I don't think having sex with the daughter of my mom's sister is a good idea. Why? Because we know what it leads to. We have endless research that proves what it leads to. If I think it's a bad idea to keep doing it, then I'm just a liberal progressive. Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me I'm going to play this. This is pretty funny. This is Andrew Wilson's response to that.
Well, the timer is set for you 5 minutes, Andrew.
Libtard value. Don't fuck your first cousin. Libtard. Let me just.
That's pretty based. Pretty based. Oh my gosh. This is Daniel, my guys. This is Daniel. This is what he does.
That was his whole argument, right? As we'll see. So it's weird that he's trying to deny something that he's in the very next sentence going to demonstrate, that is going to So yeah, he didn't go talk about women's issues. I thought that he was going to really hone in on this concept of minor marriage. I thought he was really going to press on minor marriage, because this is the one thing that Christians, like, this is their only argument basically, is, oh, Islam is okay with minor marriage, and oh, the Prophet Muhammad.
Only argument? You want me to give you 50 arguments, Daniel? You want me to give you 50? You ever heard of the Islamic dilemma? Huh? You heard about Muhammad thinking he was demon possessed? You heard about the satanic verses? Muhammad delivered revelations promoting polytheism.
Guys,
you heard of this stuff? You heard of Muhammad being a victim of black magic? You heard of Muhammad taking the life of his own adopted son after causing the divorce by lusting after her? And then saying, God made me do it. God wanted me to do it.
Guys, also Friday I got a video coming out. It's all the violence, conflict that Islam causes. I've got so many studies. Take my opening statement with my debate junior. I expanded on it to like a 40-minute video. I have so much data of like all the harm Islam causes through conflict, war, terrorism, violence, all this stuff. And it's not coming from me. I'm going to be citing peer-reviewed study after peer-reviewed study that Islam.
Peer-reviewed study?
Yeah.
Shocker. I'll have to see it to believe it.
Married Aisha, and when she was 9, blah blah blah. Like, I thought that was going to be the centerpiece of his argument. I actually overestimated him, because I thought he would bring a variety
Dude,
of arguments.
Like, think about this. I'm serious.
He'd bring a
Hell, he could have gone in so many directions. Instead, he gave me one argument that I got completely destroyed on. He made it easy. I'll throw out everything else in the world. Here's one problem that makes Islamic societies really, 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 really bad. Can you answer this one thing? Yes, low IQs are good because it helps people remain Muslim. What the heck? No, you realize he's never going to live this down. This lasts forever. This lasts forever.
Yeah,
God,
it's pretty bad.
Of arguments to criticize against Islam, and so I tried to anticipate that by saying he's going to be a progressive, and I was right in multiple ways.
These are tactical geniuses.
You hear this? Well, he's saying he's the tactical genius. I anticipated that he would use a liberal progressive. That's not a liberal. That's basic common sense. That's basic common sense and medical knowledge, and the idea that lowering IQs and increasing birth defects is generally a bad idea. Only liberal progressives would conclude that? In other words, anyone outside the liberal progressive camp would, you know what we need? More diseases, more horrible birth defects, and so on. We need all of that. We need more genetic problems and lower IQs. That's what he's saying. Anyone outside the liberal progressive camp says.
Yeah, pretty stupid. This is Daniel. If you don't agree with him on all his radical fringe nonsense about how to run a society, you're a liberal progressive. He's the exact opposite of like the Antifa folk that are like these extreme left-wing folk. And if you're not in agreement with him on everything, you're a fascist. Daniel is the opposite version of that. If you don't agree with him on everything, you're a libtard.
And I mean, seriously, think about, like, of all people, does Andrew Wilson come across as the progressive liberal type? Andrew Wilson, like, seriously, Andrew Wilson, does he come across as like the champion of progressive liberalism?
Nope, not at all. No.
He did give a progressive argument about economic development and scientific and technological progress.
It's a liberal,
because it's about society. It's about what's better for society.
Daniel thinks liberal values are economic progress, economic development. That's liberal stuff.
Yeah. So, but I mean, think about this. So, yeah, they're arguing based on different standards, right? So, it's what's Islam or Christianity, what's better for society? And Andrew's thinking in terms of economic progress and IQ leading to scientific development, stuff like this, saying all these kinds of things. When Daniel's using completely different criteria, what lowers people's IQ enough to keep them Muslim? That's his criterion. But guess what, Daniel, if that's your criterion, yeah, you win, buddy. You win. If that's the goal, being as dumb as possible to keep people from leaving Islam, you're right, dude. If that's the standard, if that's what you're aiming at, yeah, Islam is good at that. But that's not what most people are thinking when they think of like progress and like making societies better.
Real quick, just so you guys know, we are like less than 600 subscribers away from being at 500K.
Wait,
so
that would be 500,000.
Be 500,000. So if you are watching this and you've not subscribed, like the video and also subscribe, and we'll hopefully hit 500K tonight. So please do that. We're very, very close to hitting that. All right, let's get
That's
back
what
to
the old Zoot said.
That is a libtard, atheist, progressive argument. And I was kind of close because he did talk about marriage. You know, that was his main point about cousin marriage. So it wasn't about minor marriage, it was about cousin marriage. These Christians always have to make it sexual. They always have to take it to the Muslim bedroom. Isn't that interesting? I don't know why. What kind of
the
preoccupation?
bedroom destroys societies, then that is right on topic, Daniel.
the funny thing about that is he is actually making a libtard argument. What do liberals always say? Stay out of our bedroom, Christians. What is he doing? Stay out of our bedroom,
Libtard.
Christians.
Daniel the libtard.
Just because we want to have sex with underage girls that are our first cousins, why do you got to come in our bedroom? It's all they've consented.
Stay out of my bedroom where I'm banging my first cousin who's 7 years old.
And just
Stay out. Stay out.
This is something he actually posted. The myth of consensual cousin marriage. I consent. Andrew Wilson, I don't. This is actually a liberal meme. This is a liberal meme. It's started by liberals where you have like two gay guys there and the Christian is off to the side or Jesus is off to the side saying, I don't. Daniel's actually pushing forward this liberal idea that only thing that matters is consent. And then he's accusing us of being the libtards, but here he is pushing liberal memes and liberal talking points. This is the biggest self-own I think I've ever seen. It's so stupid, man.
Daniel's going down in flames, and he's just taking as many people with him as possible.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Let me jump ahead a little bit to let's get back to Daniel. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit here because yeah, it's just bad. I think I want to go to 139 is what the next time marker I had. Yeah, 139.55 because this is where he's actually going to start shooting himself in the foot.
That's when he's going to start.
Good point. He's been doing it, but it's going to get even worse. He's just going to somebody sent in a super chat. IQ is subjective, and Daniel's going to refute him and then start arguing about why IQ is good.
Variability in IQ score, but is IQ testing latching on to an aspect of human cognition? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there are differences that you can track across countries. There are differences that you can track across religions. There are differences that you can track across races. You are not doing yourself or Muslims any favors by denying this, by denying this kind of IQ science,
Well said,
because
Daniel.
it's very robust. The data is very robust. And the only people who deny this are libtards who are denying it on the basis of there's a massive censorship.
Yeah, that's the thing. If denying IQ is a libtard argument, then Andrew Wilson didn't make a libtard argument, which Daniel accused him of. See, he doesn't even realize what he's saying.
He just keeps talking, and and his followers. Oh, Daniel says it. Daniel, look, that powerful Dawa. He's saying so many things. He must be right. Him went Harvard. Him go Harvard. Him smart. Him say smart things. Keep at it, guys.
Censorship blanket over any research into this. So the research that has been done is usually decades old before this kind of censorship came into place because of politically correct reasons. And there's all this material. Oh, debunking IQ science. Like, it hasn't been debunked. It hasn't been debunked at all. This is a reality. So stop coping about this. You are only coping about it because you have internalized this idea that IQ is so important and being able to do math and science is so important to the human race.
Being able to think is so important, and being able to reason is so important, and being able to spot a lie and have basic discernment and have basic common sense is so important that you lose Islam.
He actually just argued that, oh, you don't need math and science. That's not that important.
That's wrong.
But that was part of Andrew's argument. He's saying when you guys lower your IQ so much, you become dependent on
us,
on other nations and so on to prop you up and hold you up.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel said, "Yep, that's what happens.
Yep.
You guys have all the science and technology and economic advancements and stuff like that. We're a bunch of inbred people who with 65 IQs and stuff like that, and you have to keep sending us money for our entire lives to help us out."
Mm-hmm.
You've internalized that, and now you are victim to that. You are a victim because the science says that Muslim countries are lower IQ. That is a fact. That is a fact.
Clip.
And there are
Clip that.
I need to be cut. You get like 500 awesome clips out of this to share everywhere. That is a fact.
That is a clip right there, ladies and gentlemen. Clip that. Put that on
my
X.
soundboard.
Spread that. Oh, yeah. That's definitely a soundboard clip for sure.
What's crazy is if you said that, or I said that, or John said that, we get taken down for hate speech. He's shouting it from the rooftops. Of course, Muslim societies have the lowest IQ.
That is a fact.
That's what Islam does. It makes you dumber and dumber and dumber, generation after generation after generation, because that's the only thing that keeps you in Islam. So it's a self-sustaining system. Isn't that brilliant that Allah set it up this way?
Oh my gosh. So he starts talking about this. I want to just give some context here. He starts talking about this researcher named Joseph Heinrich, who wrote a book called The Weirdest People on Earth. He's talking about us Westerners. So what weird stands for Western, educated, industrial, rich, democratic people. And he says, we are completely different.
I thought it was going to be like circus freaks or something like that. It's going to be like, oh, I'm sure you got plenty of those. And
yeah. So here's the thing about Joseph Heinrich is that not a lot of medievalists cite him because he gets some things right, but he doesn't get everything right. He tries to say that the reason we're weird, these weird people that he defines as Western, educated, industrial, rich, democratic, is because the Catholic Church outlawed cousin marriage. Medievalists have pointed out that was not the only factor. There were other factors from Christianity. There was wealth transfers that also gave rise. So like a better scholar would be someone like Tom Holland, who notes there were many factors of Christianity that gave rise. What Heinrich does is he tries to say it's only cousin marriage. So he's cited by like psychologists and like anthropologists. He's not really cited by medievalists or like historians because he doesn't get all his facts right. So I'm not saying he's entirely wrong. The problem is he leaves so much out. But that's who Daniel's about to start talking about here. So I just want to give that context so you're aware of this. But yeah, there's a reason I don't really cite him. And it's because, yeah, he tries to give credit to everything just outlawing cousin marriage and polygamy. And it wasn't just that. There were many other factors that other historians have pointed out and have criticized him for. And by the way, Heinrich isn't a medieval historian. He's like an evolutionary biologist. So I'm not saying his research is entirely bad, but it's not the go-to place, I'd say.
The reason. It has to do with weird psychology. So what causes weird psychology? It seems that it's biological, partly biological, but there's also a sociological factor, social evolution, certain practices. And then one of the big factors pointed to by Joseph Heinrich, Harvard anthropologist. And I don't think that Andrew Wilson is aware of this research, because if he were, maybe he would have cited it. But Joseph Heinrich's argument actually is that the reason that the West developed science and industrialized before anyone else, it actually does have to do with cousin marriage. It actually does have to do with cousin marriage. And it's not as simplistic as an argument as Andrew Wilson made. But what Joseph Heinrich says is that, and he has this thick book, The Weirdest People in the World, and you should read it. It's like a series of books. The first was The Secret of Our Success, The Secret of Western Success, Economic Progress. What's the secret? That's the first book. And then the second is The Weirdest People in the World. And that's the more substantive, thicker book where he really brings this whole thesis together. And he says the thing that really triggered the West to move along this different path from the rest of the world, you'll never guess. You'll never guess what it was. It was banning cousin marriage. It was banning cousin marriage and banning polygamy, a man having multiple wives. These two things set the West down a path, this trajectory of social evolution that increased IQ after 500 years, 600 years, that led to the Reformation, that led to the Enlightenment, that led to the scientific revolution. All of these moral and scientific values, all these changes, these revolutionary changes, it actually originates from banning cousin marriage by the church.
What is he doing?
Oh, that is weird.
He's making a case against cousin marriage and why it's so bad. He's like, you get more scientific progress. You get the Enlightenment. You get higher IQs. See, look at how great it is, guys. Like, he's making the case for us as to why you should not be screwing your cousins generation after generation. If your family tree doesn't have branches, like
No, dude, that's so weird. It makes me think I misunderstood him, because like that couldn't have been his point, right?
his point.
I don't understand. Like I because really it makes me think that though, because I was like, what could he possibly be saying though? He's saying that like, does he think his audience thinks that these are bad things?
I guess so. Well, he's going to make that case later.
Well,
he's going to say there are trade-offs. Yeah, you get all this, but there's trade-offs, and he's going to argue the trade-offs are worse, is what he does in the video.
That's what I mean. I haven't seen the rest of it. This is what I'm seeing it right now, but kind of knowing how Daniel argues, it would be, oh yeah, your IQs go up, so you ban cousin marriage, and then IQs go up, and you get the scientific revolution, all this stuff. But where does it all lead? Atheism.
That's what he does.
Liberalism and all the and LGBTQ stuff. And it would have been way better if you just kept the first cousin marriage, kept everyone's IQ low enough to remain in Islam, where we slaughter you for all this stuff.
Yeah, but this is weird because, yeah, it's just weird. I would assume that his audience would like be thankful.
You're assuming that his audience isn't the product of 40 generations of first cousin marriage. Drop that assumption.
You know, around the 4th and 5th centuries. So interesting, right? It's very interesting. And this is like robust research. Joseph Heinrich himself, I believe he's Jewish. But he's making a very interesting argument. And he justifies, he gives a causal chain, like what causally happened. And he points out that when you ban cousin marriage, because being able to marry your cousin actually is how to make your family stronger. It makes the family unit.
If you want to make it even stronger, then just bang your sister, and then you'll be the strongest family.
Well, notice what he just did. He gave all these. He's like, look at the West. The West banned cousin marriage. They got rich. They got industrial. They got educated.
They got to the point where they can crush Muslim armies, and we can no longer advance and take over the world.
But now he's saying, no, cousin marriage makes family stronger. It makes the wealth stay in the family. That makes the family wealthier. You just argued. You just got done saying that what the West did made themselves more wealthy, made themselves more educated, made them stronger. So how can you just now try to, cousin marriage good because wealth stays in family, that better? No, it isn't. We can just see two different societies, one banning cousin marriage, one not. And the society that banned it did far better in all those metrics.
Yeah, that's why Muslim societies are these economic powerhouses. Like where are they doing well, where they didn't just happen to be already sitting on a giant ocean of oil?
Afghanistan.
Yeah. Awesome. We all want to move there.
Stronger. It makes the family unit more cohesive because you're keeping wealth within your family, within your close family.
You can keep it,
and you can
why not sister marriage, dude? Why not?
Yeah, really.
Or rely more on your family for things that you need for survival, for resources. You're going to be more close knit, and then your family will be stable enough so that it can expand. Like you can have more family members.
Listen,
and then
it's complete nonsense.
It is.
You've seen how they marry. It's up now. Now I'm trading you in. Get out of here. I'm trading you in left and right.
Yeah,
I'm going to marry you. Mutta. It's mutta left and right. It's all these temporary marriages, hotel marriages, and stuff like that. They don't even take marriage seriously.
And he's actually accidentally demonstrating that we Christians in the West have built better societies because we don't have to rely on cousin marriage to have strong families. We can trust people outside of our families. We can build bigger and better families.
Yeah, which then puts them in the family, right?
Yeah.
Because he's just like, you can have an even bigger family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you get married to somebody else outside of your family, they become part of your family, which gives you a bigger family. So it doesn't do anything different.
One of the reasons cousin marriage is so prevalent in the Islamic world is because there's just a lot of Muslims who don't trust anyone outside of their family. And Islam allows for it. It encourages it because that's what the Prophet did. So if you don't really trust people outside of the family, you're going to have generations of cousin marriage. That's a problem.
You're practicing polygamy and a man can have multiple wives, you're going to have very big, strong, robust family networks. These kinship networks are going to be very strong within society. And your family is going to be like your society is going to be a kinship based society. That's going to be the building blocks of your society. And that has been the norm for all of these cultures, you know.
Do you know, I mean, is everyone paying attention to this? Like, all he's doing is saying, bang your cousin, bang your first cousin. That's it. That's what he's arguing. It's better. Look, here are all these benefits. Okay. Really horrible problems associated with it. But look, you'll have stronger family cohesion. Yeah, they might have, 3 arms and stuff like that, but that'll only make them stronger. Now you have an extra arm. Think how strong your family will be. What? Oh, gosh, guys. Daniel, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for exposing.
And he's also completely wrong about polygamy. I'm going to be talking about this in my video on Friday. Like, the fact that Islam allows and encourages polygamy actually causes society to break down. It causes more chaos. Because you got to think about it, just statistically, if all the upper class men marry multiple wives, humans have produced roughly about 50-50 percentage men and women on average. If the upper class is marrying like 4 women, that means the lower class of men, the poor, don't have wives.
What fight?
That's exactly what the research shows. They join gangs, they join terrorist organizations, they commit more violence. In the ancient world, when the elites did this, they sent all the young men off to die in wars so they could have more women for themselves. If the Muslim world can't do that because they're so dominated by the West, these young men just form terrorist organizations, gangs. So this is another way Islam causes chaos, destruction, and violence in societies by allowing and encouraging polygamy, specifically polygyny. And so I'll be talking about that in my video on Friday. About
polygyny.
Polygyny is when one man marries multiple women, and polyandry is when one woman marries multiple men. It's 2 different forms of polygamy. So polygyny is the male version. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me get to some super chats, and then we will jump back into the last clip. I'll look at Daniel. The night of the El Zut, when the leather strap failed. Very powerful stuff. Very, very horrible stuff happened on that night, but yes. This is the guy that the lady says is a scholar, by the way. Journalism might be dead. Yeah, didn't Julie Royce in her article she let her go up on her website say this guy was an Islamic scholar?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty oh God. If you do a drinking game where I drink every time Daniel lies, I will pass out and get alcohol poisoning. Yeah, don't do that.
No, you wouldn't survive 2 minutes.
With every argument Daniel makes, Andrew Wilson is proven correct. I call it the Haqiqatjou dilemma. One must use high IQ to refute high IQ, yet one must reject high IQ, yet argue low IQ. It's a powerful dilemma. I need to use that. Axiom, Quran equals divine dumb. AI stated that claims easily proven wrong show authority was not contingent on getting those facts right. Uses Dawa script. Yeah. The Dawa script is the final authority for Muslims. Do Muslims not know about the Greek manuscripts? Every time they talk about the Bible, it seems like they don't know. No, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't know about the textual criticism around that. Yeah, so. Daniel says he wants low IQ to preserve marriage, but low IQ is correlated with higher divorce rates. LOL. Andrew should have brought that up. Yeah, that is it. Lower IQ is correlated with higher divorce rates. Also, marrying younger is correlated with higher divorce rates. The best time to marry is like early to mid 20s. So that's actually the best time to get married. If you're marrying 18, 19, 17, 16, you're correlated with higher divorce rates. Now, I'm not saying that means you're going to get divorced. It's a probability thing. So if Daniel wants to lower divorce, he should be encouraging people to get married in their early mid 20s. Watch the BBC document about first cousin marriage from Bradford. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. Daniel is the best of Christian apologists. You see? Definitely, he's really good. Dr. Omar's back. He says cousin marriage predated Islam due to tribal, cultural in the Middle East. Land issues you gave is some reason in Pakistan. Stop insinuating it's all due to Islam. I did not. I'm not insinuating it's all due to Islam. The problem is that Islam allows it and as encourages it because it tells you the Prophet Muhammad is supposed to be your moral example in Islam, and he married his first cousin. He gave his daughters to first cousins to marry. Pretty gross and disgusting. However, even if Islam doesn't encourage, Islam is incapable of stopping this generations of cousin marriage, whereas Christianity has successfully done that.
Yeah, and the issue in Islam is that since Muhammad is propped up as this perfect moral example, or as close as you can get, but he's the pattern of conduct according to the Quran, then Like you could look back at practices in the past and say, okay, they didn't know any better. But as you learn more and more, you realize it's dangerous, and you say, okay, we need to get rid of this, right? So same thing with child marriage, right? Like, so you could say, okay, at certain times they didn't know this was harmful. They didn't know how harmful it was to marry a 10-year-old or something like that. And so, people learn more and more over time, and then you realize it's a problem, and then other groups in the world say, oh, it's a problem, it's actually bad. Well, we need to do something about that. We need to do less of that. We need to discourage that. But in Islam, it's, oh no, you're attacking our prophet. How dare you? You can't say that sex with a little girl is wrong because that would mean our prophet was wrong. And, oh, you're saying that first cousin marriage is dangerous, but then now you're attacking Muhammad because he married his first cousin. And so Muhammad becomes this blocker to sanity.
Exactly. That's the problem.
That's the problem we're pointing out.
And again, which is generating more progress, more better results for humanity? It's clearly Christianity. Christianity got rid of child marriage, cousin marriage. It helped. It was very crucial for ending slavery. It's crucial for creating so much progress in the West, which the Islamic world doesn't have. When you look at the different civilizations, you look at the research on this, Christianity is clearly better.
Yep.
Dr. Omar, just become a Christian.
Yeah.
Just seriously. You're more than welcome to join us and join a religion that actually has evidence to back it, is actually making the world a better place. Get out of Islam, man.
Yeah. Progress in Islam comes from outside.
Right.
It comes from outside pressure, not in the Zut sense, but people outside have to say, if you want to continue working with our nation, you need to stop this practice. That's when change happens in the Muslim world. Other than that, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. See the video I did back in September on the problem of pederasty throughout the Islamic world. It was, I'm not saying Islam endorses or is in favor of it, but it was powerless to stop it throughout its culture. Whereas Christian nations started putting pressure on them and made them stop. When is the Boom Boom Room when does the Boom Room can have the El Zut?
That's going to take some work because we will need a bunch of guys to play the El Zut. And so I'll need a bunch of Indian dudes.
Daniel is popular due to his geopolitical analysis because of genocides by the U.S. or paid by our tax dollars. Wake up and moral up. That doesn't mean, like, what does this have to do with anything? He's wrong here. Why are you mad we're going after him? Like, what do you want us to do? Not call him out? Do you want him to keep being the face of dawah? Or do you want him to be exposed and humiliated and shown to be a pathological liar? We're doing it. Okay, we praise other Muslims like Fareed when he does it as well. So what do you want us to do? Not do this? No, we're going to keep doing it. Question for you all. Would you rather interview or speak with the first Al Zut in the Momo coaster or the last one? Neither. I don't want to talk to either of those sickos. What are you talking about? Why would I want to talk to these guys? I don't want to do that. There are about 15 to 20 hadith, including Sahih and historical reports that indirectly give much higher age for Aisha. I can prove it.
No, that's ignore.
They don't mention ages. There are circumstantial clues in those hadith that some more liberal Muslims use to try to argue she was older. But again, if you're going to follow Joshua Little, you got to throw all that out. None of it's reliable. That's what he's arguing in his dissertation. None of this stuff is reliable.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's the Aisha dilemma. We need to make that the Aisha dilemma.
Aisha dilemma. That's a good one. Yeah.
The Aisha dilemma.
Why do Muslims think arguments have some sort of political allegiance? If I say child marriage is bad because of research, they call you liberal. Well, exactly. It's you either agree with them, like what Daniel does, or you're a liberal. They don't realize that liberals get a lot of their ethics. They pick and choose what they want from the Christian tradition. And that's why there's overlap. But they're stealing from us. So we'll defend things like, child marriage is wrong. We'll say wife beating is bad. We'll say polygyny is bad. And Muslims call us libtards for that. But no, those are Christian principles. Those are Christian virtues. And then just liberals borrow that stuff from us. Islamic Sweet Home Alabama is messed up. That is very powerful. Yes, very true. Anyone familiar with Wilson can tell Wilson never used libtard arguments. Daniel was caught off guard and was zooted by it. He's very zooted by it, yes. Your arguments on Islam are autistic, Daniel. Yeah, that was pretty dumb, yes. Sharik Khan, subscribe. Appreciate it. Why are you not subscribed, man? What's going on? Appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Everyone else, subscribe to the channel and then go subscribe to Sharik Khan.
Oh, yeah, because how far are you from 500,000 subs?
Let's check. I'll give you the updated numbers right now. Right now, in terms of subscribers, we're about 560 away or
Okay,
so.
and how many people do we have watching? Like 1,000?
1,000, yeah, but a lot of them are going to be subscribers.
Okay, so
yeah.
anybody who's not subscribed, please subscribe right now, so that way we can make sure he gets 500K tonight.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
About 500 away. About 500 away. So, Daniel Haqiqatjou, bid'ah, innovation equals progress and progressive. Yes. Can't be an innovator in Islam. This is what, for example, Ibn Rushd, excuse me, was criticized for. He had to lie and say he wasn't even reading Aristotle when he was questioned by the Almohad Empire. He's being too much of an innovator. Dawa Troll says, I'm the libtard Dawa. Islam cousin is love. Pretty gross and disgusting. So now the so-called scientific miracles are really just libtard progressive miracles. Oh, yeah. Good point. If Daniel's saying scientific progress is libtard argument, I guess he doesn't think there's any scientific miracles in the Quran anymore.
I was thinking he probably wouldn't advocate for those. He shouldn't be able to, at least.
No.
But
Is Danny Boy a fan of Uncle Ted K? Who's Uncle Ted K?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. So let me play the last. I'll get to some more super chats in a bit. We'll play the last clip of Daniel that I want. This is the argument that you were looking for, because he's saying, "Oh, look at all the good stuff that banning cousin marriage does," but this is why he says we should reject this. All this high IQ and scientific progress. It's so awful. Here's why.
Principle is the harm principle, do no harm. These things are the end all be all of morality. Is it a surprise that liberal system arises in the West? No, it's coming from a weird psychology. It's coming from the weird psychology, from the higher IQ. The higher IQ means what? Like, you have more critical reasoning skills. You are more empirically driven. You have more mathematical skills.
Pretty based.
But there's a cost to that.
There's a cost.
There's a cost.
The cost, John.
You're going to have more doubts about God. You're going to have more doubts about something like homosexuality is wrong.
We won't
like
have
you as
about God. We won't have more doubts about God because we don't have a conflict between science and logic and thinking and God.
Exactly.
They may have more of a conflict, but yeah.
Pretty bad.
A higher IQ person are going to be less likely to reject homosexuality. Why? Well, what is the harm if it's two consenting adults? Who's actually being harmed here? It seems like you're actually increasing your pleasure. If two homosexuals get together, like, what's wrong with that?
Didn't he just argue that the only thing that should matter for cousin marriage is two consenting cousins?
He did argue that.
Now he's like, no, consent is not the only thing that matters.
That's a good screenshot for a thumbnail.
Wait. Yeah, let me hold on. Put that back up. I'm gonna make a quick screenshot of this. Hold up. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, screenshot that. Good. Save that for later. Perfect. Yeah. So this is the libtard argument, guys. This is his whole argument. He thinks that if you just get higher IQ, you start to question belief in God and you start to think homosexuality is okay. You become a libtard and you reject Islam. That's why we need a good 90, 80 IQ society. That's the best. That's what Daniel wants.
Yeah, it sounds like a slippery slope fallacy.
It's also false.
It is. I mean, it is weird just saying the smarter you get, the more you'll reject Islam. Therefore, I mean, kind of tells you something, right, Daniel?
Well, to steelman his position, he'd probably say that the smarter you get, the less religious you become. Therefore, it's bad all around. But I mean, yeah. Again,
no, that's, by the way, that's not even the reason you end up with any sort of correlation. That's not the reason. The reason for a correlation in places like the United States is that the smarter you are, the less inclined you are to go along with what other people around you are saying.
all right.
Yeah.
In other words, if everyone's around you as a Christian, but you think you're smarter than everyone else, you're more inclined to say, I don't have to go along with this.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're not very smart, you think, okay, that the people around me know better. My mom and my parents and the people around me, they know better. So I'm not gonna be as quick to question this. But guess what? That applies everywhere.
Yeah.
If you have in an atheist society, someone who thinks he's smarter than everyone else is saying atheism, he'll be the one who's more inclined to go against
Where'd
that.
you learn that?
That's interesting. Yeah.
I saw that years ago. I forget where it was.
You sure it wasn't me? Because I've been saying that in videos for years. Because like here, let me put this study up here. This is a study I've been using. It's called Analytic Atheism, a Cross-Culturally Weak and Fickle Phenomenon. They said exactly what you just said. That what happens in these societies is that it's not that smarter people choose atheism. It's not that atheism leads to higher IQ. It's that what lowers the mean IQ for religious people in certain countries is the people that have low IQ just tend to conform to the cultural norm. They just tend to say, well, I'm in a Christian culture, I'm just going to be Christian. But let me scroll down here. Let me show you what I mean here, because here's what they point out. Look at this chart here. This is important. In the UK, it's the exact opposite because it's identifying more with secularism. So more low IQ people are identifying with the atheist secularist side, whereas in the US, it's the opposite. And they're basically saying that, listen, people that are low in analytical thinking just go with whatever the culture is saying. They'll say, I'm just identifying as a Christian because I live in a Christian nation. Just identifying as a secular atheist because I live in the UK and that's what we are now. So that's what happens. And that lowers the mean IQ for atheists in the UK, lowers the mean IQ for Christians in the US. But it's not that, again, high IQ makes you an atheist or that high IQ people pick atheism. It's about the mean average and what's actually lowering that. It's a cultural issue, not connected to IQ. That's what this study points out.
Yeah. So it's if someone in the classroom thinks he's smarter than everyone else, then he'll be less inclined to go along with the group because he's smarter than all of them. But here's the thing. The people who think they're smarter than everyone else in the class are very frequently the smartest person in the class. And they've realized, hey, I pick things up quicker than everyone else. The work is easier for me. And so why am I going to go along with what other people say here? And they're more inclined to go off and do something else. So I guess in Daniel's defense, it should be, if you keep people as dumb as possible, then no one will ever say, hey, I can go against the group because everyone will be really, really dumb, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's
what it is. Haqiqatjou hates technology, says it leads to nihilism. Think of it of ungraceful version of what is man to gain the whole world and lose his soul. Yeah, but you don't have to. There's nothing that says
be dumb.
Gaining IQ means you're going to become secular atheist. Yeah. This is what Andrew Wilson pointed out in the debate. You can be high IQ and be a Christian. High IQ does not make you an atheist. That's stupid. By the way, polygamous and large family households have similar effects to household with single mothers because the parental attention is spread thin. Exactly. Yeah. Children in polygamous marriages suffer lower academic achievement, lower, I think even lower mental health in certain studies. Excuse me. So yeah, it's not polygamous marriages are not good for women or children or society. They're just bad. He wants a world like North Sentinel Island tribe. Yeah, we just go back to the Stone Age. He said in the debate, I want to take us back like 200 years. Yeah, before we had vaccines, medical technology, like ridiculous. What man to win whole world, but what man to win whole world and not bang his cousin? Cold force innovation, literal IQ heat map.
Man, did he gain the whole world yet not bang his cousin?
Help fund IP to get the new Islam video early. Yep. If you become a subscriber, if you become a Patreon supporter or a donor through the website, right now you can get access to the 40-minute video on all the harm Islam causes. And
how long the video?
It's like 40 minutes of study after study after study of all the harm Islam causes. So click below. The donate link is below. Become a donor. You can access that video now and be pretty based if you do. Dr. Wood took your advice. I bought C.S. Lewis Mere Christianity, and it's blowing my mind. I was hoping to get deeper. I'm a new Christian. Yeah, this is real. Awesome. It's good to hear.
Mere Christianity is awesome.
That's great. Yeah. We got to give her an applause. Pretty awesome. If Christ's real, why didn't he condemn winglings?
That's probably the most powerful argument.
Very powerful, yes.
It's a powerful version of the argument from evil.
Is that the angel Gabriel with you on the stream?
Yeah, it is. You're in the flesh.
Oh, yeah. I remember your thing.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I didn't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Ted Kaczynski, Modern Society Bad. I don't know who that is.
Ted Kaczynski?
No, I don't remember. It sounds familiar.
Is that the Unabomber?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. He was like, hey, you need to go off and live in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. And
Yeah, now it's coming back to me. Yeah, he did say that kind of crap. Imagine taking the Haqiqatjou seriously. Yeah, what I like to say about Daniel Haqiqatjou is he's got IQ in his name, but not his brain.
Classic.
Why does Daniel call everything that's not stupid and requires just a little bit of critical thought liberal?
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
That's just what he does. Anything that's based on common sense or science or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But those are those.
No, it's
buzzwords,
liberal.
so
It's liberal.
Because people will fall for buzzwords like that. So you can call everything fascist, call everybody Nazis, can do all that kind of stuff, and people will kind of be like, "Oh yeah, it is." You know. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's his version of that.
Yep.
Yeah, the people who call everything racist or everything
Yep.
this, and yeah, it's liberal. It's liberal. It's liberal. And since all my viewers are the product of 40 generations of first cousin marriage, they'll think I'm making an awesome point here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you considered how the doctrine of al-Fatra creates a dilemma where ignorance becomes a safer path to paradise than receiving revelation?
We'd have to screenshot that. I want to think about that.
I'll screenshot and send it to you because otherwise you'll forget.
I will forget.
Yep.
Yep. That's
Zoot zoot. Someone please tell Daniel. Somebody please. Yes. Have you heard AP's new song?
Yeah, I just saw it.
The Zoot song?
yeah. Zoot zoot. He's working on his reggae version.
I told him he's got to. Oh no, him and I came up with this in the car. He's got to make a song about Daniel Haqiqatjou, taking that old Black Eyed Peas song. Let's get it started in here. Let's get Islamic in here. Let's get retarded in here. Came up with that in the car.
And have Daniel be doing the whole song.
Exactly. Daniel's got to be singing that. Yeah. This is his Zoot song for people who have not seen it.
I hear that train a coming. It's a rolling around the bend in the desert sands of Mecca where the wild nights never end. Muhammad drew a circle, told his buddy stay right here. Then the Zoot boy showed up naked, bringing quite the atmosphere.
John.
The Zoot train's coming, tall and skinny, dark and bare. They're piling on him, riding the prophet without a care. No gin, just nomads in the fray, crowding around him till the break of day. That train's a rolling, a desert party that won't fade away.
All right.
Classic. He's on a roll.
I thought he meant Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Easy mistake. Yeah. We got that. Appreciate it. Yeah, I wasn't sure because of like Ted K. There's a lot of Ted Ks out there. Who could it be? So that's Daniel. He's massively coping from his debate loss to Andrew Wilson. He's of course claiming victory. This is what I love. I mean, I have been in debates where I destroy people, and they're like, "I won." Sure you did, buddy. Sure you did. Like I've had people coming up to me in debates go, "You just destroyed them." I've had like people on the other side. Like, what happens? They always claim they won. Like, I don't know what to do, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was one of my debates with Nadir Ahmed back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a church, and afterwards, the pastor was talking to me, and I said, "So what'd you think?" And he goes, "Well, I mean, you were destroying him, but the problem is." Like after a while, I mean, it was almost like you're up there on stage, like clubbing a baby seal, and we're just like you're like making us like side with him because we feel like you're just like you're being too brutal towards him. So it's like he was saying I'm too mean.
Yep. Daniel will go down in history as the guy that said it's okay if a girl starts precocious puberty at 11 months, she can be married off. Have that marriage consummated.
What we need to do before she gets an IQ high enough to.
And he'll be the guy remembered as the guy who said, I prefer the low IQ societies. I prefer us to stay dumb and retarded and being cousins. Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's had a lot of best moments.
A lot of good moments.
Yeah.
Daniel, we need to hire someone to go through all his stuff and find like the all-time Daniel Haqiqatjou highlights.
The only way Daniel can argue against IQ is asking questions like look at the bad things humans have done with their intelligence. So he has to argue that it correlates with human intention. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. Like, what would you rather live? Go back to the days before polio vaccines existed? Like, it's ridiculous. Said Ted C is a unibrower. I'll sponsor new glasses. Nice. Read the whole Bible. It only points in one direction. Glory to Jesus. That is super base. It certainly does. Daniel argues against having an online dawah job as a requirement to sustain the internet, let alone create it, are intelligence related. Daniel argues against having an online dawah job as requirements to sustain the internet, let alone create it, are intelligence related. I don't get what he means. Do you get what he means? No. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, man. I'm not sure what you mean, Jack. Maybe you want to put another chat in there and clarify, I'll take it, but I don't know what you mean there. So, all right. David just left.
Yeah.
He just walked out on us.
He did.
He's going to the bathroom. So, if you don't have any more super chats, we're going to close this out because obviously he's done. And he just, well, I'm done. He didn't even say, I'll be right back. He just left. Watch him get in an Uber and just leave. So, here we go. Thank you for gifting 5 Inspiring Philosophy memberships.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Wait, why is Daniel using technology? Isn't it bad Islamically? Good question. He wants to go back 200 years before there was computers, internet. Here he is using it.
Whatever happened to, didn't he say he was preferred Muslim societies, and then there's something going on where people are like, well, you can go live in Afghanistan, and he said he would, but something else. Do you remember that?
Yeah. He said that he lives here for his parents.
Okay.
Which I get, but I mean, like when they finally hopefully pass away peacefully, as we all will one day, shouldn't he just move to Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Live without technology?
I don't believe him.
Like, yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't buy it.
Put up or shut up, Daniel. Which is it going to be? Honest question, based on what you know, please estimate the IQ of the prophet. 80, 85, maybe. Maybe I'm being generous. I don't know. I'm trying. It's definitely lower. The guy did not know what he was doing. And again, if you're illiterate, you're naturally gonna have a lower IQ because learning to read increases analytical thinking and critical thinking skills. So yeah, it's got to be below average to say the least. Some people are like -30, less than 70. This is the proof. Absolutely the proof. Yes, absolutely. So. Wait, I think we got one more here. Do you guys think he's a Fed? Sometimes I think this, but I've met Muslims in real life, and they are unfortunately similar to stupidity to Daniel. So I was watching both of these live streams we went through, and I was like, honestly, like, if I worked for Mossad and I wanted to create Muslim dawah guys to make Islam look bad, could I do a better job than what Daniel has done to Islam? No. Like if he is a Mossad plant, it is the most genius tactic ever. It's like because he's just ridiculous. I like watching him say this stuff, and I'm like, if I was a Mossad agent that wanted to attack Islam from the inside and make it look stupid, I would do exactly what Daniel's doing. Like, what is the difference? What would you do different?
I don't know.
Like telling Muslims to ask them why Jesus raped Mary and she didn't consent. Like, that's what I would do. Like, that's exactly what I would do. After Zootopia comes, I'll Zootopia. Split this among you two. David is getting nothing for leaving mid-conversation. Very powerful. Yes, yes, yes. The IQ of 30 men. That's Muhammad. Yes, he got the IQ of 30 men, and that gave him an IQ of 30. So, dang. Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to close this out while David is in the bathroom just doing his thing. I don't know. He's an old man now. He takes forever. But comment after the show. The more you comment, the more this will be spread around. So if all 1,000 of you watching this just commented, left a comment, it tells YouTube to put this out to show everyone else. And also, if you donate below, we'll send you a link to our latest video on why Islam destroys everything and why why it leads to so much violence and conflict. So you get that link now. Also subscribe. We are very close to hitting 500K, so please do that. Yeah. I think anything else you want to add, John?
No, I'm looking forward to that video though, because it's interesting because a lot of the studies that say that religion is helpful for people, a lot of Muslims, I assume, will say that Islam is helpful, but clearly there's a distinction between Islam and Christianity and what's more harmful and what's less harmful in society. So looking forward to that video so that way we can check it out. Yeah. And by the way, a lot of those studies, the primary subjects they're pulling from is Christians. Overwhelming. They're pulling from Christians. They are pulling from some Muslims occasionally.
Overwhelming studies are pulling from Christian populations, though, that look at all those benefits. So that's keep that in mind. So, anything you want to say before we close out?
We're closing out.
Yep.
Yo, what's up? Hey.
No,
Yes.
we're closing out, not starting.
Yo, you guys checking out the channel? Hey, TikTok, time to rock. What's up, meme team?
Shout out to my wingalings.
All right. We'll see you guys later this week. We'll do a call and stream at some point and debate with Muslims later this week. So, yeah, look forward to that.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. You made it to the end of this video, which means this message matters to you. If you want to see more content like this reaching people for Christ, you can help make it happen. Your support makes these videos possible. Click the link below and donate today. And if you want to go even deeper, consider joining our Patreon community. You'll get early access to videos, behind-the-scenes content, and a place to connect with others passionate about this mission.